how have you kept yourself to be successful, that you've illustrated for crazy people, you know, to some of the best in the business, you know, your TV and comic books and everything. How have you kept yourself from being an overthinker and a perfectionist to actually put it out there so people can see your product and actually pay you for what you do?
I'm at a point now where there's a particular number I'm trying to hit, and I always have been told, and now I'm paying more attention to it, especially after the pandemic. You're just one view away from your whole life changing. So now, even if I don't like it, someone else may, and if they have the backing to go further on that idea, who am I to say, no, this ain't it?
Is the guy, you know, that is responsible for some of the best animation I've seen. For any of you all that was hanging out with us doing coffee and cartoons, you know, early in the year, he was the animator and illustrator. Listen, this is the man. Do me a favor. Y'all don't want to miss this conversation because we don't know a lot about black folks in animation. And this man is doing it at a very high level. Oh, Aaron, the artist, is in the building. Listen, we're going to start this conversation like we do in any conversation. Here's how we start it. Aaron, I got to ask you the question I ask everybody. First one out the gate. Tell us about Aaron, the artist, growing up as a kid.
Growing up as a kid, and it's going to sound funny, but I was short. So I played a lot of sports and I drew a lot, but I didn't hit 6 feet till junior year of high school. So I was, I guess, average height, but I drew all the time.
I like how you talked about that. Yep, you were just good, kind of doing your thing, and you know, but then the growth spurt happens. There's different expectations for what they want you to do. And in this discovery, in this different expectations, at some point you made a decision to say, like, yo, I'm gonna let these sports things go, and I'm gonna go ahead and do something else. When was that moment, and when did you know, what made you make that decision?
I'll say that nature made a decision for me. I was playing my freshman year in college and I tore my ACL, and this was before they were able to just do the surgery and then a couple months you're back at it. This was like, you can have the surgery, you'll be out by a year and a half, or you can let it heal, you'll be out 2 years. I wasn't trying to have surgery, and I always knew that at worst I could fall back on drawing. So it's like, yeah, surgery's not going to happen. I'll just draw, and just whatever happens, I'll work it out.
Wait a minute, hold on, people. I don't want y'all to miss that. This man made a calculated decision. And remember, decision points, opportunity, and desire. And he had no desire to actually go through the surgery, but he knew that there was something else through his journey of discovery as a kid that he could fall back on drawing. Now, maybe it's different in your family, but I don't know nobody in my family that make money, you know, doing stuff like that. Now, my brother and my dad are amazing artists and everything else. So how did you make such a calculated decision to say, you know something, I'm not going to do sports, what they typically tell us to do as African Americans to make it. I'm not going to do sports. I can fall back on drawing. Where did you get that belief and paradigm that you could actually make a living doing that?
I think when I was young, it was either a trip to Disney World, or it may have been actually just knowing other illustrators that lived in the same city as me. And I asked one of them, you know, can you make a living doing this? And the guy, of course, looked at me and laughed and was like, of course you can make a living. You know, they'll pay you to draw. There's companies that will give you money to just draw. And at the time, it sounded like a foreign concept to me because I used to draw everything for everybody. I just, you know, I was a cool kid because I could draw, and people would like me because I could draw whatever it was that they asked me to draw. And at some point, I guess in college, matter of fact, it was college, I heard about Aaron McGruder and saw how he got this deal with Boondocks when it was first in the comics and whatever. And this was well before the TV show. I think he might have made $1 million the first year off of his syndicated comics. I was like, so you made $1 million and you're just drawing circles and lines. Yeah, that's probably a lot better than possibly getting hurt and getting embarrassed on TV playing basketball. Although the money now is, I wouldn't care, but then it wasn't what it is now.
So, yo, that's so good though, because sometimes we're one question away from being exposed to the very thing that we need to make the difference in our life. You were one question away. Had you not had the boldness as a kid to ask the question, so can you make money with this? When it comes now years later, you wouldn't have been able to sit back and make that decision. And some of us are afraid to just ask the question. Just ask the question. You might not, it might be exactly what you think. The answer could be no. but the actually answer could be yes. And that yes opened up so many possibilities for you, which gave you options, which many people are missing. And I don't want us to miss that. It's the simple question that you asked that actually unlocked opportunities based on the passion that you had been doing your whole life. I like that. I like that. I really like that. So you say, we're not doing this basketball thing no more. I'm about to commit myself to drawing, illustrations, everything else. Talk about that initial journey, because I know you just didn't like wake up and like be as dope as you are right now. So how did that journey go? Because now you're a former athlete physically, your body has to heal, but now you using something else. Walk us through that journey.
So initially, I used to draw everything on paper. I mean, I know this sounds crazy. Like, what do you mean on paper? Now I do everything digitally. But prior to knowing all that I know now, I used to draw stuff on paper, and all the shading and the coloring and stuff like that I did by hand. Get to college, figure out that there's a way that you could do it that's much faster and much cleaner. I was stunned. And then there was people in class that would be a little bit better than me, or in my head, I thought they were better than me. So it pushed me to draw even, better. And I would keep drawing and keep drawing and keep drawing. And like people now will look at my stuff and be like, "Oh, this is great." I'm like, "Yeah, it's all right. I could do better." And I've always been that person. Like no matter how good it looks to others, I will always be the one to say it's not where it could be. So I'll take a picture, throw it away, draw it again, and that used to drive my mom crazy. So she would have a binder of all my old drawings, and the fact that she was able to keep them was like amazing, because a lot of stuff, if I didn't like it, or if I colored the wrong color, it went in the trash. So a lot of the stuff I've done, I'll never see the light of day because it was in the trash. It's somewhere in the dumpster being recycled or whatever.
Oh, but Aaron, hold on. I think we're missing. I don't want people to miss this. You were actually getting, it's two things that you just said that I think are important. One, you were getting reps. Now, one of the things I love to tell people that I coach is like, if you're a singer, you sing. It doesn't matter whether you got a stage or a microphone, you sing. If you're a writer, you write, right? If you're a salesperson, you sell. Whatever it is that you say that you do, you do. So I'm a drawer, I'm an illustrator, so I draw. So regardless of whether we saw the light of day of those, whether we saw those or not, you still were getting reps to get to mastery, as Malcolm Gladwell talks about, 10,000 hours. As Jeff Colvin talks about, 10,000 hours. That's the level to get to mastery. So though you didn't like any of them, you're getting better the whole time. I love that. You're getting better the whole time. Second thing that you said, that we all need to be, what's Daniel Pink talks about in his book, Drive, we need to be intrinsically driven. That means that for the inside of, I'm operating at my personal best. I'm looking to satisfy the level that I have of excellence. And though you were throwing things away because you didn't like them, your mother was keeping them. But still, it wasn't good enough for you to allow for you to continue to keep getting better, getting more reps in. And though we didn't see any of those drawings, we actually get a chance to see those drawings, because when we look at your Instagram page, all of those reps show the excellence that went into you showing up like that. So I don't want people to miss that. It's that what he did in the dark is the very thing that we got a chance to see in the light. And he was pushing himself to a level of excellence, personal best. Y'all can think it's great, but it's not good enough. It ain't coming out. So having that as an artist, as a creator, how do you keep from driving yourself nuts with that? Where somebody would take what you would think might be 50% of your best. They'd be like, yo, that's crazy. That's dope. Let me get it. You're like, no, I can't do that. That's not to my level. How do you keep from driving yourself nuts and eventually put the product out? Walk us through that piece.
It took a lot of time, and eventually it got to the point where I had a heart-to-heart with my, I don't know if it was my cousin or if it was my brother. One of the two, they told me, like, dude, you've got to stop throwing stuff away. Like, you'll never know how far you've come if you keep throwing stuff away. So I started drawing pictures, and I would just save them. I didn't necessarily post them, but they're there. They're on the hard drive somewhere. Or if I would draw a picture that I didn't necessarily care for, I didn't sign it. I mean, people generally know my style, but I could always say that wasn't me. So pictures that I didn't necessarily care one way or the other, if it was for someone else, okay, sure, you can have it. Or if it was a paid picture, I would do it, but I wouldn't necessarily sign it, because I didn't feel it was my best, I'm not putting my name on it. Now, if I thought it was dope, there you go. I'll tag it all day. But if it's like, a regular random drawing, nah.
Okay. So again, he's working on that, people. But I want us to take that a little bit deeper, because I know there's a lot of people who don't get into action because they're looking for this mystical best moment. But at the same time, there's plenty of people that have taught and they teach called the MVP, the minimum viable product. So let me go just for my first question. How have you kept yourself to be successful, that you've illustrated for crazy people, some of the best in the business, your TV and comic books and everything? How have you kept yourself from being an overthinker and a perfectionist to actually put it out there so people can see your product and actually pay you for what you do?
I'm at a point now where there's a particular number I'm trying to hit, and I always have been told, and now I'm paying more attention to it, especially after the pandemic. You're just one view away from your whole life changing. So now, even if I don't like it, someone else may, and if they have the backing to go further on that idea, who am I to say, no, this ain't it? Like, for example, right now I'm working on a pitch for a network series. I'm kind of in the process of redoing the characters because I don't think it's as good as it could be. But one of the other people that's involved said, this is great. We can walk this in. So I'm probably not going to revise the characters, because if it's going to have to go in, all right. I mean, who am I to, stop the train because of what I think? So I'm not sure if I answer the question the right way, but I guess the best way to answer that is I'm still fighting that urge to be the perfectionist, but also know that if it doesn't get out, then no one will see it. So done is better than perfect.
Come on, say okay. All right. I just want to make sure we got that. He just ended it right there. Done is better than perfect. And see, for some of you all that are watching this live, some of you that are watching this on replay, you're trying to get things perfect and it's still not done. So therefore, all of the brilliance that is all of the brilliant talent that you have, nobody gets a chance to partake in it. Nobody gets a chance to pay you for it. Nobody gets a chance to actually be blessed by it, because it's still in your head. It's still on your hard drive, because to you, it's not perfect. But done is better than perfect. I just want us to get that. Done is better than perfect. And sometimes you got to put it out there, because guess what? Your customers, your audience, and the people you were designed to impact, they vote with their time and their money. So regardless of what you think, you actually might be able to see something and say, huh, y'all like that, huh? And I've heard too many stories of musical artists, movie artists. I mean, they go back, I thought that was trash, and people loved it. And that's one of my best-selling albums. That's one of my most grossing movies. So you never know what's going to respond to people in the moment. Your job is to put it out there and for it to be consumed. Put it out there and let it be consumed. So, Aaron, take us through so talking about the project, the very first project that somebody paid you for drawing, and how did that feel?
The first project I did was probably a comic strip when I was like the year that I spent at UAB. Like I did a student newspaper just because I, saw that at an opening and it's like, I can make this quick money. This is easy. So I think I was getting maybe $50 a strip, and I did one a week. So a $200 check for every month. Wasn't anything major. And eventually started doing more stuff for magazines. I got lucky and had a friend that worked at Delta, and he actually talked to one of his bosses, and they had me come in and do a manual for new hires, which was easily the biggest check I ever got. Of course, it was Delta, so they probably looked at it like chump change. But for me, I've never made that much money in my life at one time. Worked on 4 or 5 cartoons that have been on TV, 2 magazines that are international, the NBA, Google, did some for Amazon, and Toyota. So yeah, a couple of, Fortune 500 companies.
Yeah, see, this is what happens when you operate on a very high level. He just throws these names out like they're common everyday names, but people don't get a chance to work with them. Let's be clear. Delta Airlines. They just don't let everybody on their plane, let alone pay anybody to do some stuff for a new hire manual. Okay, I just want you to see that. I mean, this man talking about Toyota. Some of y'all probably driving a Toyota right now. This man that worked for that. He talking about the NBA, people. National Basketball Association. Come on. Like we talking about all of these things that he's been able to be a part of because when the moment hit, he was ready. Yep, it wasn't that big of a deal. You know, he made $200, you know what I'm saying, for a little comic strip in college, but that repetition, that constantly getting better, that I can improve. See, there's a level that as a creative, and a lot of us are creatives, that's a level of people who are driven by goals can be a little maddening because you're always looking for that next level, that next gear, that next moment. You're always looking for that. And so because you're always looking for that, that pushes you towards excellence. Because excellence is available, though perfection isn't. And so he was pushing towards that. So guess what? Just like author Mike Ford just said, right, must be ready for the opportunity. Are you going to actually get caught doing something that you're passionate about? Can people catch you doing what you say you're supposed to do? And guess what? He had a portfolio. Stuff is he done thrown away his mama didn't kept. Little news strip in college. He got that. Hey, let me see your work. Well, I got this all together because I've been working on it every day. So let's talk about this because I think people want to be in those opportunities. You right, Miss Sandra. You know what I'm saying? Do not despise small beginnings. But a lot of people want to be able to have their name in lights with these bigger companies and these big opportunities, whatever it is in their industry. But what I found as a coach is that many people don't actually really want to work that hard. So, Aaron, talk about your work schedule because you live on the West Coast. I live in the middle of the country, and it seems like every time I'm up, you up. And you're supposed to be asleep at some point. So talk to us about your work ethic and, like, what does your day look? How long does it take on a typical, you know, something? Let's narrow it in. You and I used to do coffee and cartoons. Yeah, we used to do coffee and cartoons. That used to be about 30, 45-second clip tops. How long did it take you to actually produce a 30 to 45-second clip for coffee and cartoons?
You want the honest answer or you want the corporate answer?
No, you got to give me the honest answer. We don't do no corporate stuff on here.
5 hours.
Okay, hold on. People, I don't want you to miss that. 5 hours for a 45-second clip max. It took him 5 hours. Now, I don't want y'all to miss that in order for him to do it at a high level of excellence for 45 seconds to take him 5 hours, he put in all of the hours before then. And so some of y'all are actually you actually are playing yourself on your price tag because you said, it only took me 5 hours. That was no big deal. I just, I did that in one afternoon. I was good. I couldn't sleep, so I knocked it out the park. People not paying you for how long it takes you. People are actually paying you for how long it took you to get that good that it's only took him 5 hours. See that? Oh, no, listen, big time, Ron. He big time professional. This is what I want us to be able to hear. Because some of y'all play, I just want you to know, I know some of y'all playing yourselves because you're saying, it don't take me that long. It ain't that big deal. But one of the things I say all the time is that normalized greatness creates undervalued experiences. And many of us are undervalued because we're doing what? We're normalizing the greatness and the process and the sacrifices we make. No, we're not going to do that. We're not doing that anymore at all. Stop playing yourself and start allowing for people, for the tears, for the sacrifice and the process that you've been through. They need to pay you for that too. They just do. They need to pay you for that too. So, so you say 5 hours. All right. So how often do you have projects on your plate? Like, how do you, because you just can't be doing cartoons that show up on TV and Toyota and Delta. So you got this stuff constantly coming at you. So how do you kind of prioritize and shift your brain from one creative project to another one and they still come out excellent that people really want you to be the guy that they work with?
It's a hard question to answer. If someone comes to me and they want a picture drawn, I'll probably do that before I do a cartoon because it takes me minutes to do a picture. Like, I literally can knock a picture out 5-6 minutes, no problem. Cartoons take a little bit longer because there's a lot more moving parts. There's characters, there's lip syncing, and backgrounds, changing sets. post production. It's all that stuff. So that, of course, I'll charge more. And if there's people that are actually coming, or companies or clients that are paying the number that I'm asking for, okay, then I'll shift my attention to that, knock it out, and go back to whatever else I was doing. But generally, people don't understand how much time is invested into doing animation. So when I do finally get to the point where we're discussing a number, they're all like, "Oh, I didn't know it was that much." Yeah, it is that much, and I'm not even charging what the companies that are, professional, not professional, but the companies that are like the Disneys or those type companies that they're charging $100,000. I may charge high four figures, but there's nowhere near like if you were to go to a Warner Brothers or Disney or Pixar, yeah, there's like tuition money for a 45-second cartoon.
Listen, here we go. Oh, listen, Ryan, you messing with me now. I was trying not to go there, but I'm going to put it out there. So a couple of things that I want y'all to be able to hear, though. I really want y'all to be able to hear is that I love what the Christy Show said. The price is the price, people. The price is the price. It is what it is. Because guess what? People, Gucci don't negotiate on their price. Maybach don't negotiate on their price. Louis Vuitton, they don't negotiate on their price. Because the price is the price. Now, the price is only a problem. Jose says this all the time. Price is only a problem when value isn't present. So if you're a business owner right now and you got a service that you're giving in which people are not paying your price, maybe they're missing the value. Come on, Don Toya. Come on. Yes, that's right. We don't, listen, that's my shout out to Don Toya Thomason down there in Atlanta doing her interior design. The price is the price, people. We're not negotiating on that. We don't do that. But again, why we don't navigate that? This man is married. Dawn right there, she's an interior designer. She has 3 kids and a husband. When you have to spend time on a project, it takes you away from what you love, which are your family, your other priorities. So that time you never get back. And maybe, I don't know why I'm on this right now, but that time you never get back. And when we have a tendency to count our time as cheap, we're basically telling our family that the sacrifice ain't worth it. I just want that to sit in there. When you play yourself on your price, when you play yourself on the value that you bring to the table, you are telling your family that the sacrifice ain't worth it. So I'm getting ready to leave you to go spend time with these people who I don't know, that I might not even altogether like, for a price that's not worth the moment I can never get back. I need y'all to make that make sense for me. That's what I thought. So, do me a favor, if y'all want to ask Aaron any questions, y'all want us to answer any questions right here, put it in the question bubble. As we're here just talking to, Aaron the artist, California's own, doing his thing, on high levels, Toyota, Delta, cartoons on TV, NBA, like he's doing his thing, and really want to get inside of the mind of a Black African-American animator that does that at a very, very high level. So for you, what's your favorite thing to do? Is it animation? Is it drawings? Is it the portraits that you do of well-known people? Currently right now, what is your favorite thing to do?
That's like trying to pick who's your favorite kid. Can I say I like to do all of it? Because I really do. If I had to choose one out of all the things I do, probably doing caricatures.
Okay. And why is that? Why is that?
Fast. No one's expecting it to be perfect, but when it looks close to like their likeness, seeing their face is priceless. And those I do in 3-4 minutes. Like I actually did a event this past weekend, and I think I knocked out, I don't know, probably 20 drawings in an hour. And I was, I started off drawing with pencil just to, get back in the flow of things. But after that first drawing, I did everything by pen and was knocking them out. Didn't even think twice about it. It's almost like getting back on a bike after months of not riding. After that first couple of, rotations on the tires, then you're like, oh yeah, I remember to do this. I'm good. And like lots of little kids, I'm drawing them and they're like watching. And the funny thing is, they would be sitting there staring at me while thinking that I'm still drawing them, when in reality, I had already finished their face and I'm just adding details onto their drawing. So they're not moving. They don't want to smile because they're afraid that I'm going to mess up, the picture's going to get messed up or whatever. And I'm sitting there telling them, like, yo, I finished your picture of you like minutes ago. Like, I'm not even drawing you no more. I'm drawing your sister, or I'm drawing your mom. You're good. And then they see the picture and they're all like, it looks just like me. That is so cool.
Come on, people. Listen, what are you doing at a level that's giving somebody that moment, that's giving somebody that smile? Because one of the things I know about Aaron, he loves for people to be satisfied with what he does because he puts everything into it. Whether it takes him seconds, whether it takes him hours, whether it takes him days, it doesn't matter. He is going to make sure that at this high level of excellence, which he navigates, that you get that, wow, that's cool. That's the moment he's looking for. And when he knows that moment hasn't happened, there's another gear that's going in. How often are we pushing ourselves to the point to give somebody that moment? To give somebody that moment. Are you looking to give somebody that moment on your job? Are you looking to give somebody that moment, in your family, in your business? Are you looking to give somebody that moment? Hey, man out here putting your business out there.
He's not lying. Matter of fact, being there, I guess a quick segue. I'm not sure which direction you were going, but I used to be a server. Like I was I guess you could say a career server, because at one point school wasn't it for me. I wound up going back because I had made a promise to graduate and all that. But for a while, I was just in the service industry full time. And when I was bored at work, guess what I was doing? Always drawing. I met him and wound up doing some work with Hot 107.9 in Atlanta, and wound up meeting a whole lot of cool people as a result of the fact that, I draw, and people were like, oh, you draw. Well, can you do this for such and such? And that kind of led into a chain of events that wound up allowing me to meet people like Rick Ross, Kenny Smith, Donnell Rollins, people like that. Just off the fact that, one, being a server made it, you had to talk to people to make money. So I had no problem walking up to people and talking to them because there was nothing to be afraid of. I used to do it all the time to make bills and to get other stuff taken care of. So having that skill plus having the ability to talk to people and not be afraid of them shooting you down, it was a no-brainer.
So, wait a minute, Aaron, you just slipped this in. Thank 2 Trillion. Thank you, my brother, for telling on him, because, he don't like to always tell his stuff. My brother, I appreciate you. So we're going to ask questions. You just can't tell me you were a career server. So where are all the places that you used to serve? We know Red Lobster. Where else?
Red Lobster I was there for 10 years. Like I started at the end of high school and then went through college and found out, it was really funny. Found out I was going through management and discovered I was allergic to shellfish, which is really kind of messed up, but funny at the same time. So I had to stop working there, and I went to a nightclub downtown Atlanta that was catering to more or less celebrities and, people that had money. So tips were going way up, and then it wasn't as busy, so I had even more time to draw. But I would see celebrities that would come in, and that's how I met Kenny Smith and some other people. And, I would walk up to them as in between me giving them their bottles or whatever. I'd be like, hey, have you ever thought about getting like a illustrated picture for your logo or animated video or whatever? And that was an easy way to meet a lot of people that most people would be afraid to even talk to. I had no fear. I literally didn't care, because either you're going to say yeah or you're going to say no. Okay, you're no different from me other than you have a few more zeros at the end of your bank account.
Wait a minute, this man is just so okay. Other than the fact that I just learned in this segment, thank you, 2 Trillion, that this man used to serve them cheddar biscuits to people. Let me be clear, them things still clutch. They're not good for my waistline, but they're good to my palate. Let me just be clear. Shout out to Red Lobster and them Cheddar Bay biscuits, baby. But no, here's the other thing that we need to be able to kind of understand and be clear on. Be clear on the fact that the worst thing that can happen is people tell you no. And a lot of us are stuck in our heads right now because we are afraid and consumed by what people think of us. Now, we're not intrinsically driven. We're looking for the external. We're looking for the external yes or amen to validate us to continue to keep moving forward. So the question is, I want you to think, if Aaron had been looking for people to validate his skill externally, do you think he gets to the NBA? Do you think he gets to 4 cartoons on TV? Do you think he gets to these levels that he's gotten to by being so consumed about what other people say? So the question I want you to ask yourself next in your head is, what's keeping you from hitting the level you're in based on what you think other people are going to think? What's that level? Because I know there's a vision in your mind that you want to become the reality of your life, but it's being blocked and it's being hindered because there's something in you that cares too much about what people say. So, and we're going to shift gears. This has been a good conversation. We're going to shift these gears before we land this plane and get out of here. We're going to do a couple things. You played this with me. We're going to do it with the folks. Yep, I know, Beauty. I'm coming for your heads tonight. My man Aaron, let me come for folks' throats. We got to stop overthinking and caring so much about what people think. I'm going to say this. I'm sorry. I was trying to let it go. But since you put them emojis in there, let me go back at it. And Aaron, we're going to shift. So help me understand. If you believe in a higher power, if you're a Christian like I am, did any of these people you so concerned about, did they die on the cross for you? Oh, okay. Let me ask you. Are any of them people coming to your house to pay your bills? If it came down to it, if you needed a full tank of gas right now and gas is high, would they give you the money or fill up your tank? I'm just going. If they not doing none of that, then why are we caring? Why? I'll wait. They not doing none of that. So why do we care so much about what people who have no agency or impact on our lives, why do we care so much about what they think? I just want you to let that go. Okay, yo, we got a question right here. You didn't put it in the question box, but let's go with it. How is illustrating different now from the days of 1,000 pics for a 5-second cartoon? Aaron, break that down for the people.
So now you're drawing digitally, and there's a thing called symbols. So, for example, like when I did Aaron's drawing, you have the head will be its own symbol, the arm will be a symbol, the eyes, the nose, the mouth, the eyebrows, everything is its own symbol, and all you're doing is switching them out, and it makes this process a lot faster. So you don't have to draw the whole image like 1,000 times like they used to do on cells and on paper, which was, I still don't understand how or why, but it was expensive. You employed a lot of people, but it took 3 years to get a movie out that now could be done in 7 to 12 months. But yeah, the real difference is just you only have to draw it once. If you break it down the right way, you only do it one time, and you just going into your library of symbols and you're just swapping them out, and it just is. You don't even think about it. Once you've done it once, then you do it again and do it again. It's muscle memory. It's almost like when I used to try to impress people. I don't really do it as much anymore, but when I used to really want to impress somebody, if I was like at a table taking an order or whatever, while they're ordering or whatever, I would draw upside down. Like for the little kids that be at the table, I would literally draw Mickey Mouse or a dog or something upside down, and the kid would be telling their mom like, "He's drawing upside down. Look, 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 look." And of course, the mom's like, "No, I'm trying to order. You're bothering me." And then the mother would actually see what it was I was doing. It's like, "You're really drawing upside down." And they would ask me how. I'm like, "It's a muscle memory. I used to do it in school because I would be bored. So I mean, I do it enough times. It's muscle memory." That's the same thing as far as animated characters. Like once you've done it and you get used to it, it's all. And I can do it with my eyes closed at this point now.
Okay, come on now. Listen, we're talking about this excellence level, but I also don't want you to miss what he talked about. See, some of you all are looking for the complete picture. Because remember, Aaron talked about it earlier. Done is better than perfect. And some of you all are looking for the complete picture, and you want to only be able to implement the complete picture every time. And what he's saying is, there is a complete picture, but there are pieces. There's elements. And those elements for each one of the pictures in an animation now can be swapped out at different moments to actually speed up the process. Some of us are actually slow. Some of us are actually not moving along like we need to because we want to take everything and everyone with us when we only need to use certain pieces for certain purposes for certain seasons. What do you think about that? Everybody ain't meant to go with you, and everything that you got ain't meant to be used. Why don't we spend time figuring out in that season what's meant for us to take to the next space?